Before the world wakes up, before the noise of life begins, there is a prayer whispered in silence. It doesn't echo in temples or trend on social media, but it travels the longest distance from a mother's heart to God. Today I want to talk about something we often overlook because it is quiet, something powerful because it is hidden, mother's silent prayers and hidden strength. This is not a dramatic story, but it is the reason many of us are standing strong today. A mother's strength is rarely loud. She doesn't announce her sacrifices. She absorbs pain so her children can smile. When we fall, the world may judge us, but a mother kneels down, sometimes literally, sometimes emotionally, and prays for us. Her prayers don't ask for comfort for herself. They ask for courage, wisdom, and protection for her children. That is real love, selfless, invisible, and unconditional. A mother's prayers work even when you are unaware of them, operating quietly in the background of your life while you remain busy with your ambitions, struggles, and routines. Most of us move through our days believing that our successes are purely the result of hard work or intelligence, and that our failures are simply bad luck or poor decisions. Rarely do we pause to consider the unseen forces that protect us, guide us, and sometimes rescue us at the most critical moments. A mother's prayer belongs to that unseen world. It is not dramatic or visible, but it is constant, sincere, and deeply powerful. It does not depend on perfect words or religious rituals. It flows naturally from love, concern, and an unbreakable emotional bond. There are moments in life when things could have gone wrong, but somehow did not. A delayed decision that saved you from trouble, a sudden change of plan that kept you safe, or a calm voice within you that stopped you from making a damaging choice. These moments often appear ordinary, yet they carry extraordinary protection. A mother's prayer works in these spaces, shaping outcomes without drawing attention to itself. While you are focused on results, she is focused on your well-being. While you are planning the next step, she is asking for your safety, clarity, and strength. What makes a mother's prayer unique is its selflessness. She does not pray for applause or recognition. In fact, many mothers never even speak about their prayers. They carry their worries silently, choosing faith over fear. When you are asleep, distracted, or even distant, she is emotionally present, hoping for your growth and protection. This silent effort requires emotional resilience. It takes strength to trust in outcomes you cannot control and patience to wait without assurance. This is where the real power lies. Not in changing situations instantly, but in holding faith consistently. In a world driven by logic and visible effort, it is easy to dismiss the impact of prayer or emotional intention. Yet history and personal experience repeatedly show that unseen support often becomes the foundation of visible success. Many individuals stand strong today, not only because of their own efforts, but because someone believed in them when circumstances were uncertain. A mother's prayer becomes a source of inner stability. Even when challenges arise, there is a sense of resilience that feels inherited rather than learned. That strength often originates from years of silent emotional investment. A mother's prayer also carries moral direction. It is not limited to protection from harm, but extends to shaping character. She prays for wisdom when you face choices, humility when success comes, and courage when failure arrives. These intentions influence how you respond to life's situations. Without realizing it, you begin to act with values that were never formally taught but emotionally transmitted. This subtle guidance often helps you recover faster from setbacks and remain grounded during achievements. As individuals grow older and more independent, they often assume they no longer need support. However, emotional protection does not end with adulthood. A mother continues to worry, hope, and pray regardless of age or distance. Even when communication becomes infrequent, her concern remains uninterrupted. This continuity creates a quiet emotional safety net, one that does not interfere with independence but supports it from a distance. The professional world values strategy, discipline, and execution, but rarely acknowledges the emotional foundations that make these qualities sustainable. A mother's prayer strengthens the inner core, allowing individuals to handle pressure, uncertainty, and responsibility with greater balance. It does not remove obstacles, but it strengthens the person facing them. Over time, this invisible support becomes a defining advantage, shaping not only success but the ability to endure, adapt, and remain human in demanding circumstances. When you recognize that someone has been investing in your well-being without seeking credit, it changes perspective. Gratitude deepens, humility increases, and responsibility grows. A mother's prayer is not a substitute for effort, but it is often the reason effort does not collapse under pressure. It is a silent force, working patiently, protecting quietly, and empowering continuously, even when you are completely unaware of its presence. Jia. Yui's strength does not make noise, and a mother's life is one of the clearest demonstrations of this reality. In a world that often celebrates loud achievements, visible power, and public recognition, the most enduring form of strength is often overlooked because it operates quietly. A mother rarely announces her struggles or broadcasts her sacrifices. Instead, she adapts, endures, and continues, even when circumstances demand more than she feels capable of giving. This silent endurance is not weakness. It is disciplined resilience built over time through responsibility and love. A mother's strength is expressed through consistency rather than intensity. She shows up every day, regardless of exhaustion, personal disappointment, or emotional strain. There are no dramatic speeches or grand gestures involved. Her power lies in doing what is required again and again without expecting appreciation. This form of strength is subtle, yet it creates stability. It allows families to function, children to feel secure, and values to take root naturally. Quiet strength sustains life, while loud strength often seeks validation. What makes this strength remarkable is that it is chosen repeatedly. A mother does not wake up feeling strong every day, but she acts with strength because someone depends on her. Responsibility transforms ordinary individuals into pillars of support. When comfort is no longer the priority, endurance becomes a habit. This habit of placing duty above convenience gradually builds a level of emotional control and mental discipline that cannot be taught through theory. It is learned through lived experience. A mother's silence during difficulty is often misunderstood. Silence does not indicate absence of struggle. It reflects maturity in handling it. Many mothers carry emotional burdens without transferring them to their children. They absorb stress so others can remain focused and hopeful. This emotional regulation requires awareness and restraint. Instead of reacting impulsively, she responds thoughtfully, understanding that her reactions shape the emotional environment around her. This ability to manage internal chaos while maintaining external calm is one of the highest forms of strength. In professional and personal environments, strength is often associated with authority or dominance. However, a mother's example redefines strength as influence without control. She leads through behavior rather than commands. Her actions create trust, and her consistency builds credibility. Children learn resilience not through lectures, but by observing how she handles pressure, disappointment, and uncertainty. Over time, this silent modeling becomes deeply ingrained, shaping attitudes and responses long into adulthood. True strength also involves sacrifice without resentment. A mother frequently postpones her own needs, ambitions, and comfort for the well-being of others. This does not mean she lacks dreams. It means she prioritizes responsibility. The absence of complaint does not imply ease, but acceptance. This acceptance is not passive. It is a conscious decision to move forward despite difficulty. Such strength cannot be measured externally, but its impact is long-lasting. Quiet strength also allows space for growth in others. By not overpowering situations with control or criticism, a mother enables learning through experience. She supports without suffocating and guides without dominating. This balance requires emotional intelligence and patience. It is easier to demand immediate results than to nurture gradual improvement. Yet she chooses the slower, more sustainable path. In a fast-paced world that rewards visibility, a mother's silent strength teaches an essential lesson. Stability is more valuable than spectacle. Loud reactions may create attention, but quiet endurance creates trust. Over time, this trust becomes the foundation of confidence and security for those around her. Her strength may not attract applause, but it builds lives that are capable, grounded, and resilient. This form of strength reshapes how we understand power. It reminds us that the most reliable forces in life are often the least visible. By choosing patience over reaction, responsibility over recognition, and consistency over intensity, a mother demonstrates that true strength does not need to be announced. It simply needs to be lived day after day, with purpose and quiet determination. She believes in you before you believe in yourself. And that belief often becomes the foundation on which your confidence is built. Long before the world forms an opinion about your abilities, a mother holds an inner certainty that you are capable of more than you currently see. This belief does not depend on achievements, grades, or recognition. It exists even in moments of failure, confusion, or uncertainty. When self-doubt begins to take shape, her faith quietly fills the gap, offering emotional stability when your own belief system is still under construction. In the early stages of life, identity is fragile. Children rely heavily on external affirmation to understand their worth. A mother's belief provides that affirmation consistently, even when progress is slow or mistakes are frequent. She does not withdraw encouragement when results are delayed. Instead, she reinforces effort, intention, and persistence. This creates a safe psychological space where growth feels possible. Over time, this repeated reassurance becomes internalized, forming a deep sense of self-trust that continues into adulthood. What makes a mother's belief powerful is that it is not blind optimism. It is rooted in observation, emotional connection, and intuition. She notices potential in behavior, not just outcomes. Where others see distraction, she sees curiosity. Where others see failure, she sees learning. This perspective allows her to encourage without pressure and guide without diminishing confidence. Her belief acts as a stabilizing force, preventing temporary setbacks from defining long-term self-worth. During moments of struggle, self-belief is often the first thing to collapse. External criticism, comparison, and unrealistic expectations can erode confidence quickly. A mother's belief acts as a counterbalance to these pressures. Even when you question your direction or doubt your abilities, her steady assurance reminds you that uncertainty does not equate to incapability. This reminder may not always be verbal. Sometimes it is expressed through patience, continued support, or refusal to give up when you are tempted to do so. As responsibilities increase with age, the world becomes less forgiving. Mistakes carry consequences, and validation becomes conditional. In such an environment, a mother's belief remains unconditional. She does not reduce her support based on performance. This consistency reinforces resilience. Knowing that someone believes in you regardless of outcomes provides the emotional security required to take risks, face challenges, and recover from failure. It allows ambition to coexist with humility and courage to exist alongside fear. A mother's belief also shapes ambition. When encouragement is grounded in values rather than comparison, Success becomes defined by growth rather than competition. She encourages progress without tying self-worth to results. This helps individuals pursue goals with clarity and balance, avoiding the burnout that often comes from externally driven valid. Her belief teaches that effort matters, integrity matters, and perseverance matters, even when recognition is delayed. In professional life, confidence is often perceived as a personal trait, but it is usually the result of years of emotional reinforcement. Many individuals who lead effectively, communicate clearly, and handle pressure well have been shaped by early belief systems that affirm their capabilities. A mother's belief contributes to this foundation by instilling a sense of inner permission to try, to fail, and to try again. This permission is essential for innovation, leadership, and long-term success, even in moments of disagreement or correction. A mother's belief remains intact. She may challenge behavior, decisions, or attitudes, but her confidence in your potential does not waver. This distinction between behavior and worth is critical. It allows growth without shame and accountability without fear. Over time, this approach teaches self-reflection rather than self-criticism. Believing in someone before they believe in themselves requires patience and emotional investment. It means holding faith during uncertainty and offering encouragement without immediate proof. A mother does this instinctively, driven by connection rather than outcome. That belief, quietly sustained over years, becomes an internal voice that continues to guide, support, and strengthen long after the words themselves are no longer spoken. Love is strongest when it is selfless. A mother's life consistently reflects this truth through actions rather than words. Selfless love does not seek recognition, reward, or validation. It focuses entirely on the well-being of another, often at the expense of personal comfort and convenience. A mother's love operates from this space, where giving becomes instinctive and sacrifice becomes routine. This form of love is not dramatic or performative. It is steady, intentional, and deeply rooted in responsibility. Selfless love is revealed most clearly in the choices a mother makes every day. She prioritizes needs that are not her own, adjusting her time, energy, and ambitions to ensure stability and growth for her children. These decisions are rarely acknowledged, yet they shape the environment in which confidence, security, and values develop. Unlike transactional relationships, where effort is exchanged for benefit, a mother's love is unconditional. It does not change based on success, behavior, or circumstance. This consistency creates emotional safety, allowing individuals to grow without fear of abandonment or rejection. What distinguishes selfless love from obligation is intention. A mother's care is not driven by duty alone, but by emotional connection. Even when exhausted or overwhelmed, she continues to invest because the well-being of her children remains central to her sense of purpose. This level of emotional commitment requires resilience. It demands the ability to set aside personal frustration and remain present even when emotional resources feel depleted. Such love is sustained not by ease but by meaning. Selfless love also involves restraint. A mother often suppresses her own worries, disappointments, and struggles to prevent them from becoming a burden to others. This emotional regulation is a form of quiet strength. By choosing not to transfer stress, she creates a stable emotional environment. This does not mean she is unaffected by difficulty. It means she manages it internally so others can function without distraction. This restraint protects emotional balance and fosters a sense of security that supports healthy development. In a competitive world, love is often associated with conditions and expectations. Achievement, compliance, and success frequently determine approval. A mother's selfless love challenges this framework by separating worth from performance. She offers care even when mistakes are repeated and progress is slow. This approach teaches an essential lesson. Value is inherent, not earned. Such understanding strengthens self-esteem and encourages responsibility without fear. When individuals know they are supported regardless of outcome, they are more willing to take ownership of their actions and learn from failure. Selfless love also plays a critical role in moral development. A mother does not simply provide comfort, she guides behavior through patience and example. She corrects without humiliating and advises without controlling. This Bala, NCE, requires emotional intelligence and long-term thinking. Instead of focusing on immediate compliance, she prioritizes character formation. Over time, this guidance shapes decision-making, empathy, and accountability, influencing how individuals interact with others and handle responsibility. In professional and social environments, individuals often replicate the emotional patterns they experienced early in life. Those raised with selfless love tend to demonstrate empathy, collaboration, and ethical leadership. They understand the importance of supporting others without immediate gain. This mindset becomes a competitive advantage in settings that value trust and long-term relationships. A mother's selfless love, though private and personal, has far-reaching effects on how individuals contribute to society. Selfless love also teaches balance between giving and boundaries. While a mother gives freely, she also models discipline, structure, and limits. This combination prevents entitlement and encourages appreciation. Love without boundaries creates dependence, while boundaries without love create fear. A mother integrates both, ensuring that care is nurturing rather than enabling. This form of love does not seek acknowledgement, yet it leaves a lasting imprint. It shapes emotional resilience, ethical clarity, and interpersonal strength. By consistently choosing the needs of others without diminishing dignity or self-respect, a mother demonstrates that true strength lies in giving without expectation. This selfless love becomes a silent guide, influencing behavior, values, and priorities long after childhood has passed. Hidden strength is built through responsibility, not comfort. And a mother's life is a continuous example of how accountability shapes resilience. Comfort offers ease and temporary relief, but responsibility demands consistency, discipline, and endurance. A mother does not have the luxury of prioritizing comfort when others depend on her stability. From an early stage, she learns that showing up matters more than feeling ready, and that perseverance is often required, even when energy and motivation are low. This repeated commitment becomes the foundation of her inner strength. Responsibility alters perspective. When someone else's well-being depends on your decisions, personal discomfort becomes secondary. A mother adapts to this reality quickly. She learns to function despite fatigue, uncertainty, and pressure. Over time, this adjustment builds emotional endurance. Strength emerges not from extraordinary circumstances, but from ordinary obligations handled with care and consistency. Each responsibility fulfilled reinforces the ability to manage the next challenge, creating a cycle of growth through action rather than intention. Unlike comfort, which avoids difficulty, responsibility requires engagement with it. A mother cannot delay important decisions or withdraw when situations become demanding. She must assess, respond, and adjust, often without guidance or reassurance. This constant problem-solving develops mental clarity and emotional control. She becomes skilled at managing priorities, balancing competing needs, and maintaining focus under pressure. These skills, refined quietly over years, define a strength that is both practical and sustainable. Hidden strength also develops through sacrifice. A mother frequently sets aside personal preferences, rest, and opportunities to ensure stability for others. This is not an act of self-neglect, but a conscious choice rooted in purpose. Sacrifice teaches discipline, and discipline builds reliability. When sacrifices are made consistently, they reinforce a sense of responsibility that transcends immediate gratification. This mindset enables long-term thinking, a quality essential for resilience in both personal and professional life. Responsibility also demands emotional regulation. A mother cannot afford to react impulsively, as her reactions influence the emotional environment around her. She learns to manage frustration, fear, and disappointment internally, choosing calm responses over emotional release. This restraint is a critical aspect of hidden strength. It allows her to provide stability even during uncertainty. Over time, emotional control becomes habitual, enabling her to handle stress without allowing it to disrupt functionality. In contrast to comfort-driven living, responsibility-driven living fosters adaptability. A mother cannot rely on ideal conditions to perform her role. She adjusts to changing circumstances, learning to operate effectively regardless of external challenges. This adaptability enhances confidence, as competence is built through experience rather than theory. Each challenge faced and managed reinforces the belief that difficulties can be navigated with patience and effort. Responsibility also creates purpose. When actions are aligned with care and accountability, effort feels meaningful rather than draining. A mother's sense of purpose sustains her through demanding periods. Purpose transforms obligation into motivation, allowing endurance to coexist with emotional fulfillment. This internal alignment strengthens resilience, making her less vulnerable to burnout and discouragement. In a culture that often prioritizes comfort and convenience, a mother's example highlights the long-term cost of avoiding responsibility. Comfort may reduce immediate stress, but it limits growth. Responsibility, though demanding, expands capability. A mother embodies this principle by consistently choosing what is necessary over what is easy. This choice, repeated daily, builds a quiet confidence that does not depend on external validation. Hidden strength formed through responsibility is not always visible, but it is deeply reliable. It allows a mother to remain steady during uncertainty and effective during pressure. This strength does not originate from physical power or authority, but from the discipline of consistently fulfilling obligations with care. Over time, responsibility shapes character, endurance, and resilience, proving that true strength is cultivated not in comfort, but in commitment. Gratitude multiplies inner success, and a mother's sacrifices become truly meaningful when they are acknowledged with awareness and respect. Inner success is not defined solely by external achievements, but by emotional stability, clarity of purpose, and the ability to remain grounded during both progress and adversity. Gratitude plays a central role in shaping this internal state. When an individual recognizes the effort and intention behind a mother's sacrifices, it creates humility, perspective, and emotional maturity. These qualities strengthen character and enhance the ability to navigate life with balance. A mother's sacrifices often remain unnoticed because they are woven into daily routines. They do not appear as singular acts, but as a continuous pattern of care, adjustment, and endurance. Gratitude brings visibility to these efforts. By consciously acknowledging what has been given, individuals develop a deeper appreciation for the foundation on which their lives are built. This awareness shifts focus from entitlement to responsibility, encouraging a more thoughtful approach to decisions and behavior. Gratitude also reinforces emotional resilience. When individuals reflect on the support they have received, they gain perspective during challenging times. Difficulty feel more manageable when viewed in the context of past sacrifices made on their behalf. This perspective reduces self-pity and fosters perseverance. Rather than feeling isolated during struggle, individuals recognize that they are part of a larger narrative shaped by care and commitment. This realization strengthens emotional endurance and reduces impulsive reactions to stress. In professional environments, gratitude influences attitude and conduct. Those who appreciate the sacrifices behind their growth tend to approach opportunities with respect and discipline. They understand that success is not solely self-created, but supported by unseen contributions. This understanding encourages ethical behavior, accountability, and long-term thinking. Gratitude transforms ambition into responsibility, ensuring that progress is pursued with integrity rather than entitlement. Gratitude also enhances relationships. When appreciation is expressed, it deepens trust and emotional connection. A mother's sacrifices, when acknowledged, create a reciprocal bond of respect rather than expectation. This mutual understanding fosters open communication and emotional security. Even when disagreements arise, gratitude provides a foundation of goodwill that prevents conflict from becoming destructive. It reminds individuals of shared history and enduring care. Inner success is closely linked to emotional balance, and gratitude plays a stabilizing role. Acknowledging a mother's efforts encourages mindfulness and reflection. It shifts attention away from constant comparison and dissatisfaction, grounding individuals in what is already present and meaningful. This grounding reduces anxiety and enhances contentment, allowing individuals to engage with goals without becoming consumed by pressure or insecurity. Gratitude also strengthens self-awareness. Recognizing the sacrifices made for one's growth invites reflection on personal responsibility. It encourages individuals to consider how their actions honor or disregard the efforts invested in them. This awareness promotes intentional living, where choices are aligned with values rather than impulse. Over time, this alignment enhances self-respect and confidence, contributing to sustained inner success. In moments of achievement, gratitude prevents arrogance by reminding individuals of the collective effort behind their progress. In moments of failure, it provides comfort by highlighting enduring support. This balance protects emotional well-being, ensuring that self-worth remains stable regardless of external outcomes. Gratitude acts as an emotional anchor, maintaining equilibrium amid change. A mother's sacrifices, when met with gratitude, extend beyond personal appreciation. They influence how individuals contribute to the world. Those who value what they have received are more likely to give thoughtfully, support others, and act with empathy. Gratitude transforms personal success into shared growth, ensuring that progress is not isolated but meaningful. By honoring a mother's sacrifices through gratitude, individuals cultivate inner success that is resilient, ethical, and deeply rooted. This success is not measured by recognition or status, but by character, clarity, and emotional strength. Gratitude amplifies these qualities, allowing individuals to grow with humility and purpose, grounded in an awareness of the care that shaped their journey. So the next time life feels heavy, pause and remember this: there is a silent prayer surrounding you, and there is a hidden strength backing you. Respect it. Be grateful for it. And if your mother is still with you, don't wait for a special day. Honor her today with your actions, your words, and your growth. Because when the world turns away, a mother never does. And that, my friends, is the greatest blessing we will ever receive.